Good morning, students. So now we will start with our third chapter, that is Python, and from here programming starts. First of all, we will try to understand what is Python, and then we will proceed further with the basic of Python. So first of all, you should have the basic knowledge of Python. Okay, so Python is a programming language, and basically Python is object oriented and procedure oriented both. Okay, so I will explain you what is object oriented, what is procedure oriented, so no need to worry about. Okay, so first of all, what is programming language? You should know what is programming language. But basically programming language means basically it is a way by which we are interacting or interpreting our commands or whatever we want to do, whatever we want to perform with the computer system. Just like sometimes you speak in English, sometimes you speak in Hindi, means what you are doing, you are just interpreting from one person to another person. You are giving your views, you are giving your ideas, or you are expressing yourself with the help of language. Okay, similarly in computer system, how we are going to work, and for that different languages are there, and these languages are known as programming languages. Why these are known as programming languages? Because basically here you are going to program something, because here you are going to tell something to the computer, so that computer will act accordingly whatever instructions you might have given. Okay, so that's why it is known as programming language. So programming languages, basically what are programming languages? Basically programming languages means how we are going to interpret or how we are going to interact with the computer, means the way by which we are going to interact with the computer. Now my dear students, basically programming languages, and there are different types of programming languages. They are procedure oriented, they are object oriented, they are event driven. Okay, and they are scripted languages also. So large number of programming languages are there. So first of all, procedure oriented. Procedure oriented means predefined procedures are there, predefined functions are there. Basically functions means it is already informed, it is already told. I'm just telling you about the functions or the procedures. Means procedures are the functions are the predefined. Basically procedures or functions or procedure oriented programming language, here it is already defined what we have to do, where we have to write the codes, and how we have to do. Means everything is predefined and we have to follow those particular instructions. Means we have to declare the variables to a particular place, we have to use the predefined functions, we have to use the predefined procedures. So in the procedure oriented programming language, there is nothing user defined. Means you can't define anything by yourself, you have to follow whatever is pre-described or predefined or given from earlier only. Okay, so this is for the procedure oriented. Second one is object oriented programming system. So object oriented programming system, basically object oriented programming system means here the object is given the most emphasis. Object, and basically beta, just you take an example of your class. Suppose class 11th. Okay, so 11 is class, and all of the students of 11th, they are known as the object. Means class is a container and students are the object. So such type of programming languages where the data is known as, where the data is considered as an object, that is known as object oriented programming system, that is OOPS. Okay, so object oriented programming system basically means it is having two parts, class and object, and class is just like a container where the objects are created. Okay, just you can take the real life examples. In just suppose if we take real life example, suppose if I take the class of fruits, so mango, banana, and these are the objects. Similarly class of animals, so tiger, lion, all these are the objects of class animal. Similarly if we take suppose your class only class 11, so all the students of class 11, they are known as the objects. Okay, So basically the objects they perform all the work of that particular class. Okay, such type of programming language is known as object oriented programming system. So no need to worry, we will explain it, means we will learn it further. Okay, just I am providing you the basic of these programming languages. Now in the object oriented programming system you can create your own variables. There is no any prescribed things, means that you have to create the variable to a particular place, you have to use these procedures only. No, nothing like that. In the object oriented programming system you can create variables anywhere, you can create your own functions or the procedures. Basically functions are the procedures, are small programs with the help of which we can perform any small task or any particular or the specified task. Okay, so you can create your own procedures or the functions and you can work with that particular. Okay, such type of programming language is known as object oriented programming language. Okay, now third one is event driven programming system. Event driven programming system basically, suppose you might have worked with your PC. Okay, or you may be working with your mobile phones. So if we take an example of your PC and if we take the example of mouse, so in the mouse sometimes you are left clicking with the mouse, sometimes right click. Okay, sometimes you press the key, sometimes you release the key of keyboard. Basically pressing the mouse, that is left mouse key or the right mouse key, or pressing or releasing the keyboard, basically these are known as the events. These are known as events. So basically how you can define events? Event means the occurrence of user action. Event means occurrence of user action, means the way by which user action occurs. It means whatever you might have programmed and how that program is going to execute or run, that is known as event. That is known as event. Okay, my dear students, so make it clear, means event means the occurrence of user action, and it may be mouse click, it may be key up, it may be key down, it may be right click of the mouse. So basically these are known as event. So we are having procedure oriented, object oriented and event driven programming system. One more is there, that is scripted programming language. Okay, scripted programming language just like XML. Okay, Python is also known as scripted programming languages. Basically it is scripted means here everything is text based. Okay, so we can write the codings, okay, and afterwards the effects can be reflected. So such type of programming system is known as scripted programming language. So the programming languages are characterized, means that that may be procedure oriented, that may be object oriented, that may be event driven, that may be scripted programming language. Okay, so dear students, we will proceed with introduction of Python. And basically Python was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1991. Okay, so Guido van Rossum had developed the Python, means he had done given this programming language. And Python is an object oriented programming system. As I had already explained you, object oriented programming system means such programming system where there is class and object, and object is given the most emphasis, means all of the functionalities of the class or that particular programming system is done by object only. As in your case only, you can consider that class is 11th and all of your object. So whatever work is done in the class, all of you are performing that particular work, means without object class is useless. Okay, so that's why object is given the most emphasis. Okay, so class and object, there are two parts for the OOPS, and afterwards obviously we can say that Python is a programming language. And basically Python got its name from a TV show, Monty Python's Flying Circus. Okay, so Guido van Rossum had given the name of Python from this particular show, and that is Monty Python's Flying Circus. And it was first of all released on February 20, 1991. So Python was first of all released on February 20, 1991. Now my dear student, basically Python at the initial stage of Python was not a very big programming language. basically it was used for to provide the basics of programming language so that anyone can code means small kids, or you can say that the beginners can practice with the Python, means they can do the codes and they can develop some programming skill. But in the present era, Python is of utmost importance, and it is the most demanding and the most crucial programming language of the software industry. Nowadays, there is a boom of Python. Basically, for each and every task, the Python is required. Now, artificial intelligence, machine learning, business intelligence, all these aspects are possible only with the help of Python only. And basically machine learning, because Python is having such capability that it can train a machine, or it can train a robot. Okay, so Python is basically used for all such aspects. I am saying business intelligence also, because for online shopping, suppose you might have searched something. Now from the next time you will get recommendation for that particular product. How you are getting? Because of the artificial intelligence, or you can say that business intelligence. Okay, and this is implemented with the help of Python only. So Python is nowadays, the Python is the most demanding, or you can say that the most popular programming language in the field of machine learning, artificial intelligence, business intelligence. So it is of utmost importance, and it is recommended for each and every student so that they have the knowledge of Python. And first of all, the most important thing for the Python is that it is very very easy. It means here the declaration of variables and codings and all such things are very very simple. Okay, so no need to worry or no need to have fear with this programming language. It is having a lot of fun and lot of basic concepts, lot of knowledge, and utmost importance, career. You have a bright career with this programming language. Okay, so these are the means introduction for the Python. Now we'll go to the features of Python. So first of all, simple, as I had already said, that it is very very simple. It means the codings of Python are very very simple. No need to declare very large codes, because Python is having its own huge library, and simply you have to import the functions, import the methods directly to your editor, and directly you can run your program. So it is very very simple. It is very very simple for any age group, means that maybe of student of your age, or that may be sorry, a very unknown person who is not having any knowledge of any programming language, means anyone can simply learn the Python, because it is very very simple. Now easy to learn, yes, it is easy to learn. You can learn it very easily. Open source, yes, Python is open source. Open source means the things which are easily available or freely available in the internet. Okay, and we can download it, means the software of Python is freely available. Software of Python is freely available in the internet, and we can download that, and it is available with the source code. Source code means the coding of Python, coding with which the particular software is being developed, that is freely available, and we can also edit the codes, we can also write the codes by our own self. And my dear students, it is the era of OSS, open source software only, because most of the softwares you are getting free of cost in the net. You might be using different softwares, and you might be downloading different softwares free of cost. So all such softwares are known as open source softwares. Okay, such softwares which are available freely. And Python is high level, HLL means high level language. High level language means basically Python use alphabets, Python use numbers, and Python use symbols, means where alphabets A to Z, that may be capital or small, numbers 0 to 9, and symbols can be used. Such type of programming language is known as high level programming language. Okay, so it is high level programming language. Dynamically type, need not to declare, means the variables need not to declare. Simply you have to write x, y, z, whatever you want to write, and those variables are declared by Python itself. So how Python will declare the variables, that depends upon what type of value you are going to provide to the variables. Means suppose if you are going to provide integer variable, it will take the data type as integer. If you are going to provide decimal type of values, it will take the data type as float or double. And if we are going to provide true or false, then decision making, that is boolean, and so on. It means in the Python no need to provide data types. So the concept of data type also means not of panic in the Python. It is platform independent programming language. Platform independent means you can run the program of Python in any operating system. In our PC, in our computer science, platform means operating systems. So there are different operating systems: Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac operating system. Okay, so you can run the program of Python on any platform. So there is no any dependence of platform in Python. So it is very easy to use. And Python is very portable programming language. Portable means basically easily you can take a Python program of Python from one operating system to another operating system. You can run it from one PC to another PC. And here there is a concept of PVM. PVM means Python virtual machine. So beta Python virtual machine, basically this concept we will learn, and basically it is an individual concept. So here simply know the topic, that is Python virtual machine. I will explain it further because the whole topic is there. Okay, so I will explain. So here simply PVM means Python virtual machine. Now procedures oriented and object oriented, that I had already explained you. Procedure, what is procedure oriented, what is object oriented, because Python is procedure oriented because it is having predefined procedures and functions, and it is also object oriented because it is having class and objects, as I had already explained you that object oriented programming system is having class and object. So Python is both procedure oriented and object oriented programming system. So keep it clear, okay, keep it in your mind. Now it is interpreted. Interpreted means each and every line of Python program is translated into machine language. Okay, so line by line translation is there. Such type is known as interpreted, my dear students. Because whatever programming language you might be using, that is Python, C, C++, Java, or any programming language, all the programming language need to be converted into machine language, because all of you know that computer only understand machine language. Means whatever instructions you might have provided, that may be high level language, HLL, that may be low level language. Okay, these need to be converted into the machine language, and in order to convert any program into machine language, language translators are there. Three language translators are there: interpreter, compiler, and assembler. What are they? Interpreter, compiler, and assembler. These all three, all of you are aware with these. So but here we will go to interpreter and compiler only. Compiler translates any high level language program to machine language program line by line, and whatever error is there, whatever syntax error is there, it will produce that error on the same time. Okay, and whereas compiler do the translation of whole program, that is of high level program, into machine language, that is binary. Okay, or machine language program, that is 0-1 format binary. Means whole to whole translation is there. Means first of all you have to write your whole program, and afterwards that whole program will be translated into machine language. Okay, so that is the compiler. And one thing more, Python is having both interpreter and compiler, and because of that only the concept of PVM is there. I will explain you, no need to worry, my dear students. So Python is having both interpreter and compiler, whereas other programming language, they are having either interpreter or compiler, except Java. Java is also having both compiler and interpreter. Okay. Now it is extensible. Extensible means programs of C and C++ can also be written with the Python. That's why it is extensible, and that's why Python is having a version of C Python. Okay, So it is extensible. Embedded also. Embedded means Python programs can be inserted to any programming language. Means Python program can be inserted to C, can be inserted to C++, can be inserted to Java, and where two programming languages are used together, that is known as embedded system. Means where two different concepts are used together, that is known as embedded system. Python is having a very huge library. Means all the mathematical operations, all the scientific operations, all the statistical operations, everything is provided within the library of Python, and we can simply import whatever is required. And yes, next topic, Python is a scripting language, okay, as it is having interpreter. Okay, database connectivity means you can connect Python with any database. That database may be SQL, MySQL, MySQL, or any particular database. So it also supports database connectivity. It is scalable, means Python also supports scalable and measurable units. Means just like unit of length or weight or height, means everything can be used with the Python. Okay, so Python supports all the scalable and measurable units. Okay, make it clear. So our next heading is batteries. Batteries basically, these are small applications which are developed and these are stored in the library of Python. Okay, means the small applications which are developed and stored in the library of Python, and these are available to programmers. Wherever programmer wants, programmer can import those applications. So such small applications sorry, which are already stored in the library of Python, they are known as batteries. Make it clear, my dear students. What are batteries? These are small applications which are stored in the library of Python, and wherever it is required, programmers can import those small applications and use those applications. Okay, they are known as batteries. Just example is there: CherryPy, Jellyfish, NumPy. Basically NumPy for mathematical operations, pandas basically for to work with the data, Matplotlib, yes, Matplotlib means to work with graphs and charts, SciPy means scientific applications, okay, SymPy, W3Lib, and so on. All these are the batteries of Python. Okay, so what are batteries? Batteries are small applications which are stored in the library of Python, and they can be imported whenever required. Now Python some minuses, means some drawbacks are also there with the Python. So first of all, not the fastest. Yeah, it is basically not very fast programming language. Lesser libraries. But nowadays we can't say that Python is having lesser libraries. Actually, in the growing stage of, or the initial stage of Python was having less libraries, but nowadays Python is having huge library. Now it is neck to neck with the Java. Okay, but for theory base, you have to say that lesser libraries, not strong on type binding. Yeah, actually, the codes of Python are very simple and not too much compatible. Sorry, not too much heavy codes are there. Okay, not easy convertible. Yeah, you can say that not easy convertible means sometimes the Python is also rigid. Okay, but no need to worry about it. Is very simple programming language. Now come to the concept of PVM, Python virtual machine. So beta, open your brain and listen it properly and make it clear what is PVM. That is Python virtual machine. Now beta, whenever we write any codings in any programming language, that coding is known as source code. So what I said, whenever we write any coding in any programming language, that coding is known as source code. Okay, as I had already explained you that interpreter and compiler both are present in Python. My dear students, why these are present in Python? Because these are the language translators, and they help to translate the language of means whatever coding you might have written in the high level language to convert that into machine language. Okay, so whatever source code you had given to Python, okay, that source code is sent to interpreter. That source code is sent to compiler first of all, and compiler convert that source code into bytecode. Okay, so what is there? whatever codings we might have written, that is being sent to compiler, and compiler translates that into machine language, means that code into machine language, and that code is known as byte code. Now this byte code is sent to interpreter. Now this interpreter do a very crucial work over here. What it is doing? Now interpreter basically it translates that program into machine code. Interpreter, what it is doing, it translates that program into machine code according to different operating systems. Okay, according to different operating system. Suppose Windows, now interpreter will translate the byte code into the machine language of, or into the machine code of Windows. Okay, suppose Linux, now the interpreter will translate the particular byte code into that just like that of the Linux, or just like that of the Unix, or just like that of the Mac operating system. It means here the code of Python, they are compiled or they are translated two times, first of all by the compiler and afterwards by the interpreter. Now try to understand this concept. Up to here means source code is given, it sends to the source code is sent to the compiler, translated into the byte code. Okay, then it's set to then that byte code is sent to the interpreter. Whereas I think this much might be clear to you. Now here just try to understand, all the operating systems, they are having their own machine code. Okay, just like different languages, you know, Hindi is having ka kha ga, English is having ABCD, similarly Chinese and Japanese, or any particular language, they are having their own alphabets. Okay, but in the case of computers, or in the case of operating systems, we call them as machine code. Means Windows are having different machine code. Okay, Linux is having different machine code, Unix is having different machine code, and that Mac is having different machine code. So basically these are having different machine codes, whereas I think it might be clear to you. Now what interpreter is doing? Interpreter just convert that byte code into machine code of that particular operating system. Means it generates a false impression that byte code is similar to the machine code of operating system. Okay, means the source code is compiled by compiler, translated into byte codes into the interpreter. Now interpreter, it generates a false impression that this byte code is similar to machine code of the operating system. Clear? Means any operating system, that may be Windows, Linux, Unix, that operating system will simply simply execute byte code. Why it will execute byte code? Because interpreter is generating an impression that this byte code is similar to machine code of operating system, and this program is compatible with that particular operating system. So that operating system will accept this program and will execute that particular program. So here interpreter acts as virtual machine. That's why it is known as virtual. Okay, so interpreter acts as virtual machine. It acts as a processor to convert or to generate a false impression that byte code is similar to machine code of operating system. So this is the concept of PVM, that is Python virtual machine. That's why, you know, Python is platform independent. So here what is PVM and why is Python platform independent? These two questions are having the same answer, because, you know, because of PVM only Python is platform independent and its program can be executed on different operating systems, or you can say that different platforms. Okay, so this is for the PVM. So this much for today, and in the next lecture we will proceed further. Okay, so try to listen it properly, try to understand the concepts, and try to grasp it properly. Okay, thank you.